Welcome back to the shooting channel. And today I've got a second-hand gun that I'm going to do a review on because I think this is one of the best value for money guns Browning has ever brought out. They don't make this gun anymore, but I just thought I'd go for a round of clays and I'm going to talk to you about the Browning Grand Prix, the GP Sporter as they call it. This gun came out 25-ish years ago. It had adjustable trigger, external chokes, ventilated barrels, ventilated ribs. It was underneath the XS, the old original XS, so it didn't have any of the stock weights on it, didn't have the recoil reducers on it. It retailed at just under £2,000, £1,800-ish. They don't come up very often, and I just want to go and shoot a couple of clays with it and just talk to you about what the gun's like. Let's go and shoot a stand. So I've come onto this stand, first stand. I'm going to pick myself a left to right crosser, probably about 40 yards away, and a little going away bird. So again, like I've said in the past, I've got my kill points, each of them. Most that hit on this specific stand, my kill points are roughly in the same place. So that's my kill points. I'm going to come back to my hold points and I'm going to look where I'm going to pick it up. So I put the gun over the rail, I close my gun up, I mount the gun where I'm going to kill my target, then I come back to the hold point, pull. Pull. And if you look, take note, it's a little gun move. Pull. 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 If you notice then, I dropped a cartridge on the floor. The biggest thing that I would recommend is don't try and pick that cartridge up when you're in the middle of the stand. Because if you go and pick that cartridge up like that, you're taking your eyes away from where you're focusing, down there, then back up there. So on the target wise, target's a little bit further away, but all I do is I come underneath it and I go out in front of it and I think to myself, I overtake it and I'm actually going to shoot the daylight in front of the clay and I keep the gun moving. And that's the way I generally will try and think. Because if a target is at a distance, you want to be thinking lead. But if you start to think lead too much, you start to measure it off rather than just, once you've shot it more and more, you start to build that picture up in your brain so you don't actually have to measure it. So I just come through it and I just think, shoot the gap in front of the clay, pull the trigger. Gun-wise, again, really well-balanced gun. A lot of people will say, oh yeah, but it's just a grade 1 Browning with a little bit of extra stuff on it. It's not. They've got the balance of these GP Sporters really well. And this is how the XS developed itself. It was kind of the first edition XS. If anyone has seen one or anyone shot one of these, please comment below. Let me know what you think of it. If you do drop a cartridge, or drop something, finish the stand, then pick it up afterwards. It keeps you focused to where your point is and what you're trying to achieve. So we've come to another stand where I've got a high looper. So I've picked the kill point. Again, gonna try it with this GP Sporter. And the biggest thing with the looper is it comes up and it comes down. And what most people do is try and shoot them like crossers, rather than like loopers. You haven't got to loop over, but you come through it and you just come out in front of it and you shoot just underneath it. And you shoot where the clay is going. So I'm going to kill the target there, shooting it gun down, hold the gun there, look in there, pull. 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 So the other thing I'm going to say is, I've heard this a lot lately, I've had lessons, and a lot of people that don't shoot a lot, the first thing they think when they're mounting that gun, they think they want to aim all these things together. A lot of people take these beads off. The last thing you want to look at is the end of that gun. As long as this gun mounts into that cheek, and you look where that clay's going, and you look underneath it, you look where it's going, you will kill that target. Again, the biggest, most important thing is to mount that gun into that cheek there. Mount that gun into that cheek. And just let your eyes go through with that clay. And as for the gun, again, balances. The external chokes does make it a little bit barrel heavy, but you can, this one does come, or it did come, obviously it's a second-hand guns. When they were new, they came with internal chokes and external chokes. As a gun, if you want something a little bit better than the grade 1 and not an XS, it's well worth to have a look at. If you do find one, have a look on Gun Trader, see if you can find one. If you do want one, message us below. We might be able to look at it and see if we can find you one between Alex and I. Don't forget, if you are looking at changing your gun, or you need a shooting lesson, or you're struggling with anything specifically, comment below. Find your local shooting school and go and book a lesson and go and have a look at what they do. Don't necessarily go to your local gun shop, go to your shooting school and go and ask an expert and try the different guns and try with a proper professional instructor. So before we start this stand, I'm just going to run through this gun stock to chokes. So again, because it's an old gun, it's got the original Browning buck plate on it. It's got a nice high comb. Generally they are grade 3 wood-ish. Engraving, again, it's slightly more sporty engraving like the XS, all under here as well. It's got the engraving under here and this side, so it's a bit more sportier. Browning external chokes, and generally the GP Sporter did come with internal chokes. Again, because this is a second-hand gun and they don't make them new anymore, a lot of people do tend to, once they sell the guns on, they do tend to pinch the chokes out of it, especially the internal ones. And that is really the GP Sporter. If you find one, please comment below. If you've got one, please let us know your thoughts. I think they are a really, really well valued Browning that they did. And again, this was the first step onto the ladder to something like the XS. Right, we'll shoot this stand. So on this one, I've got a little looper looping up the bank, and then I've got a little going away bird. Pull. 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 I hope you've enjoyed this programme, and I hope you've enjoyed the review and the round of clays that I've done with the Browning GP Sporter. If anyone's got any questions they would like to find out about this gun, please comment below and we'll do our utmost to answer your questions. I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, please join the membership for as little as $2.99 a month, and we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to hit that big red button and subscribe. It's free to subscribe. Thank you for watching.